How many times should we forgive? Once, twice, 7 times? No. Jesus is telling us in today's gospel that we should forgive 77 times. And this is one of those moments in Scripture where the numbers really matter. Jesus is not telling us that if we're wrong the 78th time, it's game on. Jesus' response of 77 times means an infinite number of times. It's tough, and it's something that admittedly we will all struggle with. But when it gets tough, think of the story of Maria. On July 5th, 1902, Maria was a 12-year-old girl sitting on the front steps of her house as she sewed a shirt for her brother or neighbor, Alessandro. Well, the story is unclear whether it was her brother or neighbor. What is known is what happened next. As she's sitting there sewing, her mind drifting off, Alessandro surprised her on the steps and grabbed her. Trying to force himself on her, Maria cried out that it was a mortal sin, and that he would go to hell. While he persisted, she kept exclaiming, "No, it's a sin. God does not want it." At those words, Alessandro began to choke her. And as she's being choked, Maria quietly said, "I would rather die than submit." Upon hearing those words, Alessandro stabbed the young girl 11 times. And while he had thought that he had killed her, Maria suddenly reached for the door, causing Alessandro to stab her 3 more times before fleeing the scene. When Maria's family returned home, they found their daughter bleeding on the floor. They quickly took her to the nearest hospital. At the hospital, she underwent emergency surgery without anesthesia. Halfway through the surgery, the surgeon realized that her wounds were far too great for him to succeed. Looking at the young girl, he said, "Maria, think of me in paradise." Having no idea how bad her injuries were, Maria simply responded, "Who knows which of us will be going first?" To which the surgeon replied, "You will, Maria." Her only reply to those words, knowing that she was going to die, was, "Then I will think of you kindly." Again, this is all without the use of anesthesia. Amazingly, Maria survived the surgery and forgave Alessandro the next day. Shortly before she died, clutching a cross to her chest and gazing in an image of Blessed Mother, her only concern was the well-being of her mother. Shortly after her death, Alessandro was captured and sentenced to 30 years in prison after he admitted that this was not the first time he had tried to force himself on her. Alessandro remained unrepentant for his crimes, and still something shook him to the core. One night in prison, while he was sleeping, Maria appeared to him in his dream. The young girl handed him a bunch of lilies, which immediately burned in his hands. He awoke a changed man, living a reformed life, and upon his release, Alessandro went to Maria's mother, begging her forgiveness. The mother, the girl he had killed. Her mother's only reply was, "If my daughter can forgive you, who am I to withhold forgiveness?" 77 times. It seems impossible to forgive the wrongs against Maria and the loss that her mother suffered, and yet they did. Never ceasing to forgive us, Jesus is there waiting for us in the sacrament of reconciliation. He awaits with his arms open and his heart full of joy, just as the father in the parable of the prodigal son. Saint Maria Goretti was able to forgive Alessandro. Today, God is asking you if you are ready to forgive the one that has wronged you. 77 times.